Hi everyone. Hope all of you are staying safe. నేను నా స్టోరీ షేర్ చేసుకుంటానన్నాను. The reason I said that was because I think it will be very very helpful. Number one, నేను నాకు మొదటిసారి వచ్చినప్పుడు కానీ ఏంటో కానీ ఇప్పుడు దాకా మనం విన్నదంతా ఏంటి, స్టీమ్ చేయండి, లేకపోతే అల్లం నిమ్మకాయ నీళ్లు తాగండి, ప్రివెంటివ్ గా ఇట్లా ఉండండి, అది ముట్టుకోవద్దు, చెయ్యి మొహం దగ్గర తేవద్దు, అవన్నీ. బట్ వీవ్ హర్డ్ సో మచ్ ఆఫ్ ఇట్, లైక్ ఆల్ దీస్ ప్రికాషనరీ థింగ్స్ వీవ్ హర్డ్ హండ్రెడ్స్ ఆఫ్ దీస్. బట్ ఐ థింక్ ఎక్కడ ఇంపార్టెన్స్, వేర్ ఐ సీ వాట్ ఈస్ ఇంపార్టెంట్ రైట్ నౌ ఇస్, the moment I got it, I was totally confused. What's going to happen next? Am I safe? Is this okay? Asymptomatic? Symptomatic? Mildly symptomatic? Moderately symptomatic? Severely severe symptoms, So these are things that people really don't talk to us about, or maybe I haven't seen some information like this when I was in a situation and I needed help and information. And the doctors also today are dealing with so many patients per day, hundreds of COVID patients, that they don't have the patience to come sit with you next to your bed and explain the protocols of the treatment, because they just get you on the bed, taka, whatever injections are supposed to be given, ichchestaru, and then once you're ready to get out, you go out, otherwise you get into the ICU if you go into a severe condition. So I'm just talking to you in these videos about my experience and what to expect if you ever end up getting a COVID positive and also some symptoms. We were 2 of us in the house, so out of 10 of us who are our primary contacts and who've been living together in the last 5 months, 2 of us got positive, and like I shared, the only space that we could have got positive from was Mind Glow, when somebody from outside came to fix lights, and he ended up becoming very serious and went into ICU, and he just got released. But the mistake that I will say that I did, though I stayed home, was that I did not wear a mask in the house when there was a third person who entered the house. Normally we take it very easy, thinking that we don't wear a mask inside the house, right? Because that's the only space where we feel like, well, let's breathe oxygen peacefully. But the moment somebody else comes into the house, I think it's really important that we also keep ourselves covered like we would do when we step out of the house, and when we take a lot of care when we go out. Alage intloki evarna vachinappudu kuda mana mask veskotamu, jagrattaga untam enta important anedi I'm the sitting example right here. So the first thing I did, as soon as we found out we were positive, adi kuda the process of being positive, so I had severe body pains which I thought were due to workout, and intlo I had an antigen kit that COVID start ayin time nunchi I have pretty much everything to handle COVID, be it starting from sanitizers all the way to oxygen cylinder to all the precautionary things at home, to pulse oximeters, to everything. So in that process we have antibody kits unnayi, antigen kits like COVID test kits unnayi, home kits, rapid kits, avanni unnai. So I said, might as well ollu noppuluga undi kada, let me just test ani cheppi, the second day of my pains tagatledu ani body pains test cheste negative vachindi. So it was negative, and then I left it and I was going on with my work at home and all that, and then suddenly jvaram raavatam modaletindi. The moment fever started, I said it's better to check again. So home kit lone in the night, because I started shivering, there was a lot of chills. So my symptoms were baga chali, cold, like chills and fever. And fever was between 99, 101 touch avaledu, but 99, 100 plus. And severe body pains, like to a point where somebody is just beaten you up. So I said, no cold, no cough. And the other thing I felt was my eyelids were so heavy, like they were paining, like even if you close your eyes, sleep, your eyelids are just paining. So these were my symptoms, and I did the kit test at home, and it showed. I was sure it will be negative. Ante mentally I was telling myself, it will not even be positive, urke chestna, because I have a kit, I'm doing it. I did it, I put it on the side of the table, I was taking my medication, sitting. I turned on the right and I saw that kit showing 2 lines. I just freaked out. I was like, what the hell? So I'm positive in a home kit, which means there must be something really serious with the virus inside me. So this was in the night at 9 o'clock or something. So morning 9 o'clock, we had somebody come home to do our test. So all our 10 primary contacts got tested, and 2 of us, me and my husband Shashank, tested positive. My daughter, Shivi, that's the surprising part. Like, she sleeps with me, she's with me all the time. She tested negative, which was a big relief. They say that kids under 10 generally are not contacting the virus as much. And fortunately, she tested negative. So both of us, the first thing we did was contacted Dr. Sridevi Reddy Garu, who was extremely helpful. And she gave me the first things to do. She said, first, maybe you're not very symptomatic. So that's when I put out my message in my social media, I said, we are mostly asymptomatic. I thought it was just little fever and little body pains, but it didn't turn out that way after that message that I left on the social media. So she told us to do these tests. It's called Profile 1. This was the test. I will also share the list with all of you. It says CBP, complete blood picture, then CRP, ferritin, D-dimer, liver function test, LDH, serum creatinine, and HRCT chest. So these were the most important tests that had to be done immediately. So chala mandiki telidu. Lot of people that get the virus, they think they're asymptomatic, they don't need to do anything about it. But I highly, highly recommend that you do these 8 tests for sure. Because chala mandiki, what's happening is, you feel very normal. Like Shashank was asymptomatic completely. I had some symptoms, he was asymptomatic. But his blood tests, when we did the blood tests, his test showed some differences in levels, like liver function, degra atla. And forget about that. Na tests aithe, when the test results came, the doctor almost said, do I drink all the time? I never drink, but my liver function went all over the place. And the numbers were so scary. And the next thing that she did was get a HRCT chest annaru. I went and got the HRCT chest. And pneumonia was at 7. So it's from 0 to 25. They rate it like this. Until 10, it's mild. From 10 to 15, it's moderate. And above 15, it's severe. So I fell in the mild. But then I had all my blood reports were out of the limits. And my chest, the X-ray, the CT showed pneumonia. So the doctor immediately told me, I will be comfortable if you go join a hospital and have somebody look at you and go through the whole remdesivir. It just, like, that was the minute that I felt I had everything under control. Until then, anipichindi. The moment she said you have to go get admitted in a hospital, I was like, shit, this is it. I don't know what's going to happen next. I had no idea what to expect. So the next immediate thing was, fortunately, I got a room and I got admitted into Apollo. And immediately, the moment I got into Apollo, the first thing they did was they put my IV line and medicines. They were putting me on all this medication. So mentally what we feel is, that's the reason for this video. The reason I'm making this is, you don't know what's going to happen to you once you go there. You don't know what medication is going into you. IV isnaru, they put in medication, they put in stuff. I don't know what's going in. And I'm getting agitated because I want to know what's happening to me. So they put me on remdesivir. So the moment you go in and with these kind of mild or moderate symptoms and some amount of pneumonia start ayindi ante, the first thing they do is, remdesivir is working magic, is across the globe and for the virus. The second is a steroid that they give you, which helps clear the lungs of the pneumonia. And the third thing is the blood thinners that they give you on the skin, which was my most painful experience. But yes, that's very important because most of the time what's happening is microclots, it's affecting either the heart or the liver or the lung. Something is going wrong, right? And mobility takku untundi. In these times, you have to stay isolated. You don't have the space to walk around, do your little workout, stretching. So you're restricted and to the bed. So because of that mobility restriction, blood clots are happening, and it's kind of affecting other things. So the virus is not just about getting your fever and getting it off, but it's connected, interlinked to the entire system. So these three things are standard protocols and the best practices that are happening globally. One is the remdesivir, one is the blood thinners, and one is the steroids. They put me on all of these three things. And they said to start with, it will be 5 days. We'll see how you're responding. If you respond well, and most importantly in all of this is the pulse oximeter. So pulse oximeter reading, if you go below 94, they go to 93, 91, okay, 80s ante, they put you on oxygen for sure. And that's when you get into ICU situation and all of that. But I was only praying that my pulse oximeter reading does not go under 94. So there were times when it even went to 93, but it was fine. So, and chala mandiki, okay, for a lot of people, you know that some oxygen and breathing is getting harder, but for a lot of people, asymptomatic ga adi kuda, they just, when you put the machine on only, you know that it's gone off to 85. But normally you don't know, you feel like a normal person. So it is extremely important that all of you have a pulse oximeter, a good one, because there are a lot of pulse oximeters in the market that show all kinds of numbers. The one that I have at home is the Dr. Trust one, and it's been good so far. So that's something that you always, like every couple of hours, wear it on your finger, check your levels. If it's going below 94, 93, it's important that you tell the doctor that this is what is happening. And fortunately for me, these 5 days dose of the remdesivir, the steroid, and the blood thinners helped. And my recovery was very, very fast. Thank God for that. And I was waiting to get back home because, you know, home is the place where you feel comfortable and you know you'll recover faster, you'll feel much better. And 5th day after my 5th dose, I was back home. Every single day almost, leaving 1 or 2 days out of this whole span of 10 days I'm talking about, I had blood tests taken. The doctor says, Dr. Sunita Gartho maatlada before doing this video, and she says it's extremely important that we do these blood reports very regularly at alternate days because they've been changing rapidly. Naku, a small example, like there's a D-dimer which is called the blood thinning, clotting gurinchi test chestaru. 450, 500 lopu undalantaru. My first report was 3,000. Second report was 89. Third one was 1,200. The fourth one was 550. The fifth one was 120. And the sixth one, I think, is some hundreds. So it's crazy. Like, you know, they say that numbers chododdu. We look at the patient and treat them. So according to me, the doctor said at the hospital also, I was speaking to Dr. Aditya before making this video from Apollo, and he also said that he is also a survivor. Tanaki pulse oximeter reading inka chala takku kelli, and he was the first plasma తీసుకున్న a patient other than from Gandhi Hospital. So he was saying that one of the things that really helped him in ICU was borla podukotam. You sleep on your chest and like not on your back. And give it 15-20 minutes, breathe. He says that the lungs get better oxygen when you're sleeping in the front and not on your back. And the reading went up for him by a lot. From 90, it went up to 98, 99, atla podukunte. So that is one of the tips that he says. And also about plasma. Coming to plasma, one more important thing that he said, mention on this video for sure, is that plasma, when you take in the plasma, it is most effective when you take it at the early stages when you need oxygen, not when you're almost at a stage where it's very critical to pull you back. He says that India is using plasma the least. The rest of the world is doing much better with plasma, and they're able to revive a lot of people, especially when they start the plasma treatment early. Oxygen avasaram padina initial stage lo plasma తీసుకుంటే it's much more effective and helps you get out of the problem much earlier. In all of this, in 5 days, I got back home, and definitely my recovery after coming back home has been great. Like some blood thinners and some steroid medication, they still put me on. Inkoka ఆఫ్టర్ ఇంటికి వచ్చాక కూడా అబౌట్ a week I was supposed to take them. I'm almost to the end of it. I'm on day 21 today. So I would say that, okay, there's two things that the doctors have asked me to talk about here, which is day 2 and 3 fevers are something that you watch out for. And then you feel normal, 4th, 5th, 6th day. But 7th and 8th day fevers come back. You have to be very, very aware of what's going on with your body then. Please don't delay your testing. Any mild symptom, please test. And immediately, blood reports చేయించుకోండి, CT చేయించండి. Depending on that, take a call whether you're treating yourself from home or whether from the hospital. Going to the hospital early helped me a lot. If I went 3 or 4 days later, my doctor told me I wouldn't have been as comfortable as this today, and I would have taken much longer in the hospital to recover than I did because I went early. So these are the few things that I think I had to tell you, and I believe it will be helpful. I hope it is helpful. And one more thing I thought I should talk about is health insurance. All of us spend so much money on going to restaurants, spending on different things, but that little money, like maybe 2,000 rupees or 1,500 rupees a month that you put aside for your health, will go a long, long way. I do it with all my employees in office and with all of us in the family, and I highly recommend that all of you must consider doing your health insurance. One more thing to do with plasma donation. నన్ను చాలా మంది డొనేట్ చేయండి ప్లాస్మా అని రాస్తున్నారు. దట్ వాజ్ మై ఇంటెన్షన్. ఇన్ఫ్యాక్ట్ నేను వెంటనే అడిగా కూడా, ఇంత కొంచెం హెవీగానే వస్తే గనక వైరస్, యాంటీబాడీస్ బాగానే డెవలప్ అయి ఉంటాయి, డొనేట్ చేయొచ్చా అని అడిగితే చెప్పింది ఏంటంటే, దిస్ అ లిటిల్ కాంప్లికేటెడ్ ప్రొసీజర్ ఎస్పెషలీ ఫర్ విమెన్ దట్ హ్యావ్ చిల్డ్రన్, అంటే ఆల్రెడీ కన్సీవ్ అయ్యో లేకపోతే ప్రెగ్నెంట్ విమెన్ అయ్యి ఉండుంటే there is a HLA test అని ఉంటుందంట, and that HLA test has to match, like that matching has to be done with the recipient. అంటే ఎవరికైతే ఇవ్వబోతున్నానో, ఎవరికైతే అవసరం ఉందో వాళ్ళకి అది మ్యాచ్ అవ్వాలి. సో దట్స్ సంథింగ్ ఐఎమ్ డెఫినెట్లీ కన్సిడరింగ్ ఇఫ్ ఐఎమ్ అలవ్ టు గివ్ అండ్ ఇఫ్ ఇట్స్ సేఫ్. నాకు సేఫే అన్నారు, బట్ తీసుకునే వాళ్ళకి అది మ్యాచ్ అవ్వకుండా ఇవ్వకూడదని. సో దట్స్ వన్ థింగ్. అండ్ ది అదర్ థింగ్ ఐ థాట్ ఐ హ్యావ్ టు టెల్ యూ ఆల్ ఇస్, అంతా అయిపోయాక ఒక 2 weeks వాట్ ఎవర్, లైక్ యునో వీక్ 10 days 14 days పీరియడ్ అయ్యాక సెకండ్ రౌండ్ ఆఫ్ టెస్ట్ విచ్ ఇస్ లైక్ ద కోవిడ్ ప్రొఫైల్ 2 అని ఒకటి ఉంది. సో ఆ టెస్ట్ కూడా చేయించుకుంటే ఇట్ విల్ రియలీ హెల్ప్, బికాస్ ఆ బ్లడ్ లెవెల్స్ రిపోర్ట్స్ తేడాగా ఉన్నాయి, అన్ని కూడా ఎలా ఉన్నాయి ఏంటి అనేది యూ విల్ గెట్ సమ్ క్లారిటీ. సో I'd like to end my sharing by saying, please stay safe, take care of yourself, and follow all the protocols that are needed, because that's the only way you can survive this fast. Like, that's my experience, and I totally believe that నేను బయటికి రావడానికి ఇంత తొందరగా కారణం ఎందుకంటే ఇమ్మీడియట్ గా వెళ్లి చేరటము, మెడికేషన్ అలా తీసుకోవటం వల్ల 5 రోజుల్లో లక్కీగా వెనక్కి రాగలిగాను. సో విష్ యూ అ సేఫ్ జర్నీ త్రూ the COVID situation. Thank you and stay safe.